If there's one genre that never loses its power, it's pixel art games. In 2025, the style came back stronger than ever, and not with small or forgettable releases. We're talking about titles delivering intense narratives, addictive combat, and worlds that stick in your memory. This list brings together the 21 best released this year, each showing how the retro aesthetic can still be used in creative and surprising ways. Before we start, I want to know, what was the first pixel art game that really impressed you? Drop it in the comments because I want to see just how far this passion for the style goes. And if you can help me reach the 50K subscriber milestone, I'd be thrilled. From one gamer to another, your support makes all the difference. Now let's dive into this lineup that's nothing short of insane. The Drifter is a pixel art thriller built on mystery and psychological tension. The story follows Mick Carter, a man who witnesses a brutal murder and is then killed himself, only to wake up seconds before it happens. This cycle of death and return sets up a gripping narrative where every event raises new questions about who's in control and how far the conspiracy around him really goes. The gameplay keeps the point-and-click style but moves at a faster pace than classic adventures. Instead of giant inventories and confusing puzzles, everything here is streamlined, letting you focus on exploring environments and uncovering clues. Interacting with objects and talking to characters pushes the narrative forward naturally, as if every detail is a piece of the puzzle. The atmosphere is built with pixel art full of personality. Dark cities, abandoned buildings, and neon-lit hallways bring life to a universe that always feels on the brink of collapse. Each area carries a different mood, switching between the claustrophobia of tight spaces and the strangeness of open ones, but always keeping that unsettling tone that grabs your attention. The pacing is what truly stands out. Even in moments of silence, you feel something is about to happen. Twists arrive precisely, revealing new layers that expand the story's scope. The Drifter doesn't rely only on scares or violence, but on carefully built suspense that keeps you hooked all the way to the end credits. Katanaut delivers an unexpected mix of science fiction and martial arts, creating a universe unlike anything else in pixel art. The story follows a lone warrior wielding a katana as his main weapon, but instead of fighting in traditional settings, he faces enemies in futuristic environments filled with advanced technology and interplanetary secrets. This fusion gives the narrative a modern legend feel, where tradition and the future collide. Gameplay is built on agile, precise combat. Every sword swing demands reflex, with enemies showing varied patterns that require close attention. Beyond battles, there are exploration sections and environmental challenges that expand the sense of progression. The pace never slows down. There's always an intense fight or a new mystery waiting to be uncovered. Visually, it's a retro spectacle. Spaceships, interplanetary colonies, and cosmic arenas are recreated with vibrant pixel art details, balancing simplicity and impact. The aesthetic conveys both the darkness of space solitude and the beauty of distant worlds, reinforcing the game's unique identity. What grips you in Katanaut is the intensity of the battles combined with the unusual setting. Each fight feels like part of a greater story, almost like a samurai epic reimagined for space. This blend of elements makes it stand out easily, even in a crowded lineup of pixel art releases. Primal Planet presents a wild setting where every step could be your last. The story takes place on a hostile planet that mixes prehistoric and fantasy elements, creating a universe full of mysteries and dangers. Tribes fight for survival against giant beasts and overwhelming natural forces, while ancient ruins scattered across the land hint at something much larger, hidden in the world. The plot isn't limited to survival, it builds a constant sense that a deeper secret is waiting to be revealed. Gameplay revolves around resisting an unforgiving environment. You'll need to hunt, gather, and craft crude weapons to face the creatures ruling the land. Each enemy feels like a potential boss, with unique patterns demanding patience and strategy. It's not about reckless attacks. You need to observe, choose the right moment, and use the environment to your advantage. This balance between brutality and intelligence makes every encounter memorable. The settings highlight the planet's scale. Dense forests hide silent predators, endless deserts push exploration to the limit, and deep caves reveal whole ecosystems of bioluminescent monsters. Pixel art breathes life into this world in surprising ways, proving simplicity can still carry epic scale. Each area conveys not only danger, but also the curiosity of what lies beyond the next horizon. What impresses most in Primal Planet is how the sense of discovery never fades. Even after hours of gameplay, there's always the chance of finding a new creature or ruins that change your understanding of the story. This unpredictability creates an addictive cycle where every session brings something new. It mixes constant tension with the thrill of exploration in a world that feels limitless, keeping you both alert and fascinated. Regions of Ruin 2 continues the mix of RPG and building in pixel art, but now on a much larger scale. The narrative follows the rebirth of kingdoms after the fall of an old civilization, placing you in charge of choices that can restore or ruin the land. The focus isn't only on battles, but also on the weight of ruling, deciding who deserves trust and rebuilding a society in chaos. It's a story that blends dark fantasy and political dilemmas with intensity. Gameplay combines real-time action combat with management mechanics. You'll fight hordes of enemies, face magical creatures, and also tend to settlements, recruiting allies and expanding territories. This blend of personal progression and collective growth keeps the pace dynamic. Every battlefield victory opens new paths for the kingdom. The skill system has also evolved, offering more variety and different playstyles. The settings are vast and diverse, from dense forests to ruined fortresses, all hiding secrets. Pixel art gives it a strong identity, keeping the retro style while adding detail-rich environments that heighten the atmosphere. There's a constant sense that the world reacts to your actions, with areas changing depending on your success or failure. This reinforces the idea that nothing is static, everything hinges on your decisions. What makes Runegate so engaging is how it ties conquest to survival. Strength in combat isn't enough without organization, alliances, and strategy. The kingdom won't endure. This dual role of warrior and leader adds depth to the campaign, turning it into something far greater than just slaying enemies. The game keeps you hooked because there's always another threat, another decision, or another land waiting to be claimed. Back to the Dawn is an RPG that stands out for its unusual setting, a maximum security prison populated by anthropomorphic animals. You play a journalist wrongfully incarcerated, forced to survive among gangs, corrupt guards, and fragile alliances. The plot is packed with intrigue, showing how every choice can change not only the protagonist's fate, but also the balance of power inside the prison. It's a dense, unpredictable story that blends personal drama with social commentary. Gameplay revolves around freedom of choice. You can take the diplomatic route, steering conversations and alliances, or dive into violence, clashing with gangs in intense battles. Progression lets you build different skills from stealth to brute force, creating multiple routes to solve the same problems. That flexibility ensures each run feels unique, since there's no single right way to break out. The prison environments are richly detailed in pixel art. Tense yards, watched corridors, crowded cells, and clandestine areas form a living space where something is always happening. The characters are expressive too, each with a backstory and striking personality, reinforcing the sense of a complex social ecosystem. The strength of Back to the Dawn lies in how it balances narrative and freedom. It's not just about surviving, but deciding what kind of person you'll be inside those walls. Betraying an ally might make escape easier, but it can also shut important doors later. That web of consequences keeps the journey gripping, making you weigh every action before your next move. Octopath Traveler 0 serves as a prologue to the series, diving into a period before the events we know. The narrative introduces new characters, each with their own motivation, while expanding the world's lore and revealing roots of conflicts that will shape the future. The multi-perspective storytelling remains central, letting you follow different journeys that intersect in unexpected ways. Combat keeps the turn-based system that defined the franchise, with emphasis on exploiting enemy weaknesses and creating strategic combos. The boost mechanic returns to amplify attacks, while new abilities broaden your planning options. The result is a steady stream of challenging fights where every turn demands careful choices. Environments return with the HD 2D style, a fusion of detailed pixel art and modern lighting and depth effects. Snowbound villages, wide plains, and mysterious temples come to life with a beauty few genre titles reach. The art direction is essential to the game's identity, delivering charm and grandeur at once. The standout in Octopath Traveler 0 is how it connects tradition and innovation. It reinforces what already worked for the series, while expanding the narrative and deepening the universe in ways that feel fresh. It's an adventure that wins over longtime fans and newcomers to this style of RPG alike. The Rogue Prince of Persia gives the series a new twist, transforming it into a 2D action roguelite. The story follows the prince resisting an invading force while confronting his own mistakes and seeking redemption in a cycle of battles that restart after every fall. It's a narrative of honor, fate, and persistence, all set to a driving pace. Gameplay steals the show with fluid movement and combat built around verticality. Parkour isn't just flair. Wall running, leaping across structures, and weaponizing the environment are core mechanics. Each room throws enemies and traps at your reflexes, and death isn't the end, but a chance to return better prepared with new weapons and abilities. The pixel art is vibrant and full of personality. Persian cities bursting with color, bustling markets, fortresses overrun by soldiers, and secret spaces with a mystical aura. Every detail helps bring the world to life, balancing classic nostalgia with a modern presentation. What makes the Rogue Prince of Persia stand out is how it gives a classic series a fresh face without losing identity. Parkour preserves the franchise's DNA, while the roguelite loop creates an addictive rhythm that invites run after run. It feels both familiar and surprising, proving the saga still has plenty of room to innovate. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound revives the series' trademark brutality, now in pixel art form, delivering a retro look that doesn't dull the intensity. The story is rooted in vengeance and honor, pitting the warrior against dark forces threatening to consume everything. There's no softening here. Every line and scene drives home the weight of a world where violence is the rule and survival rests on the blade. Combat remains the heart, fast, precise, and extremely unforgiving. Any enemy can drop you in seconds if focus slips, and bosses are true tests of patience and skill. Aerial strikes, devastating combos, and perfectly timed dodges create a lethal dance that demands razor-sharp reflexes. It's the kind of gameplay where victory is as gratifying as it is hard-earned. The stages lean into tension. Ruined villages, ancient temples, and torchlit caverns set the backdrop. Pixel art is used smartly to contrast visual simplicity with a heavy, foreboding mood. Every new location feels dangerous, reinforcing that there's no rest in Ragebound. Most striking is the fidelity to the series' spirit. Even in pixel art, the game keeps the ferocity that made Ninja Gaiden legendary, pushing players to surpass limits and master the impossible. Ragebound is brutal, straightforward, and unflinching, and that's exactly what makes it so addictive. Dragon is Dead delivers dark fantasy and pixel art, built on relentless action against colossal monsters. The story follows warriors cursed by ancient dragons battling demonic hordes corrupting the world. It's about sacrifice and resolve, where every victory feels costly yet still offers a glimmer of hope amid the chaos. Gameplay is intense, blending hack and slash with RPG progression. Combat flies by in flurries of combos, special skills, and varied classes that enable different styles. Regular foes are already tough, but bosses steal the spotlight, demanding full command of the mechanics to survive. Each battle feels like a blood-soaked spectacle. The atmosphere leans on somber tones and melancholic backdrops. Fog-choked forests, burning fortresses, and caverns crawling with grotesque creatures map the world. Pixel art carries enough detail to sell both dragon-scale grandeur and demonic horror. It's a realm in collapse, yet it still reveals flashes of beauty through the ruin. What hooks you in? Dragon is Dead is the constant urgency. With each new area, enemies grow more aggressive and progression never loosens its grip. The mix of visceral action and a shattered world creates a high-voltage journey that keeps you on the edge of your seat, ready for the next hurdle. Whisper Mountain Outbreak embraces survival horror in pixel art, telling a story of desperation in a town cut off after a mysterious outbreak. Civilians struggle to hold out as twisted creatures spread through the streets, turning daily life into a nightmare. The narrative nails the isolation, making it clear survival depends on quick and often cruel choices. Gameplay focuses on managing scarce resources, delving into dangerous areas, and facing foes that are more than obstacles, they're real threats. Ammo is limited, health is hard to recover, and every encounter carries genuine risk. That balance of caution in combat sustains a constant tension where even a simple hallway can mean death. The environments are crafted with care. Empty streets, lightless hospitals, and collapsing buildings form a map that feels alive despite the pixel art minimalism. Atmosphere is reinforced by tight lighting and grotesque enemy designs that resemble distorted nightmares. The look keeps you uneasy as if danger is always just a few steps away. The biggest impact comes from the pacing. Each discovery brings equal parts hope and dread, since finding a new path can mean progress or a worse trap. Whisper Mountain Outbreak isn't just about killing monsters, it's about enduring the psychological pressure of a world beyond saving. Seeds of Calamity presents a ravaged universe where nature itself has turned hostile. The story follows a world corroded by corrupted seeds spreading like a plague, creating hostile forests and deformed creatures. Your mission is to trace the origin of this blight and attempt to restore balance, even if it means facing entities that seem impossible to defeat. Gameplay blends action and exploration in a side-scrolling style. Combat demands quick reflexes, as enemies come in swarms with unique attack patterns. On top of that, progression is tied to skills that unlock new areas and tougher challenges. The pace is relentless, keeping that sense of constant push forward through the chaos. The world impresses with its variety. Poison forests, living swamps, and ruins smothered in roots form environments that feel like they're expanding out of control. Pixel art conveys both the savage beauty and the horror of corruption, contrasting to make each region distinct. It's a setting that inspires both awe and fear. What stands out most is the sense of urgency. You never feel safe, because the environment itself seems to conspire against every step. That constant hostility gives the game a strong identity, turning every fight into a struggle, not just against enemies, but against the planet itself. It's this inevitable clash that makes the journey gripping from start to finish. Neon Abyss 2 expands the chaotic formula of the first game, diving deeper into a universe where technology, mythology, and madness collide. The story stays in the background, but it fuels the excess. Sinister corporations, digital gods, and bizarre mutations build a stage where anything can happen. That lack of restraint gives you the feeling of playing inside a controlled spectacle of chaos, where everything seems designed to surprise. The roguelike gameplay core is intact, but the variety has gone wild. New weapons appear every run, some with powers so insane they completely change the match's rhythm. Enemies now show more personality, with creative attack patterns and giant bosses that nearly fill the screen. Every attempt uncovers new combinations, keeping the game in constant reinvention with no room for repetition. Environments have been redesigned to match the frantic action. Neon-lit halls, digital temples, and spaces mixing party and nightmare build strong contrasts. Pixel art is exaggerated with vibrant explosions of color and details that pop, reinforcing the idea of a visual avalanche as much as a mechanical one. It's a world where even chaos feels meticulously crafted to keep the energy high. What really hooks you is how each run becomes its own story. One moment you're wiping out entire rooms with ricocheting electric beams. The next, you're scrambling with improvised weapons just to survive. That unpredictability creates a vicious cycle, making you want just one more try to see what madness comes next. Terminator 2D, No Fate translates one of cinema's greatest icons into pixel art without losing the intensity of the machine apocalypse. The story follows humanity's resistance against Skynet across ruined landscapes filled with pursuits and devastation. The narrative revives the despair of a future where humanity is always outmatched, dropping you into moments that recreate the struggle against an unstoppable enemy. Gameplay is brutal and straightforward, in pure arcade fashion. The pace never slows. Waves of Terminators, intense shootouts, exploration of wrecked zones, and boss fights featuring the franchise's most iconic threats. The difficulty is high, demanding sharp reflexes and precision to survive the mechanical army. Each stage feels like a fresh battlefield, with enough variety in mechanics to keep adrenaline pumping. Environments reinforce the apocalyptic tone at every step. Cities ablaze, factories turned into fortresses, and deserts littered with wreckage all make it clear the world is already broken. Even in pixel art, the oppressive atmosphere is tangible, capturing both the scale of destruction and the cold menace of machines roaming the ruins. It's a style that mixes nostalgia with narrative weight, working as both homage and fresh experience. What keeps No Fate engaging is its balance of non-stop action with loaded atmosphere. You feel constant pressure to keep moving, always chased, yet you're drawn to explore levels hiding secrets and pieces of the war's story. That mix delivers rounds of pure chaos intercut with discoveries that expand the universe further. Grave Seasons flips the farming sim formula on its head with a macabre twist. It starts as a calm life in the country game, but soon reveals the town's dark secrets. A murderer is on the loose, and it's up to you to find out who it is while trying to keep your farm running. This mix of cozy routine with psychological suspense creates an undercurrent of distrust in every interaction with the townsfolk. Gameplay has you planting, harvesting, and growing your farm as usual, but the routine is never peaceful. Talking to NPCs, watching odd behaviors, and investigating suspicious spots become just as vital as raising animals or tending crops. Each season brings new events that change the investigation's course. That clash of simple tasks and growing tension gives the game a unique identity. Pixel art builds a bright, inviting setting that contrasts with the hidden violence. Charming homes, blooming fields, and seasonal festivals coexist with sinister clues, shadowy environments, and disturbing moments. This visual duality deepens the sense that the town is too good to be true, like a mask that could slip at any second. The real hook is how the game forces you to observe details. Small gestures, strange lines of dialogue, and shifts in daily routines can all point to the killer. That mechanic fuels tension even in the simplest moments, making it clear that beneath the farming and friendships, there's always a shadow waiting. Neverway plunges into a dark fantasy world where war, religion, and ancient secrets intertwine. The story follows a group of characters scarred by personal tragedy, whose paths cross in a land torn apart. It's a dense plot full of hard choices and twists, exploring themes of faith, corruption, and sacrifice. The journey is relentless, treating survival as a constant struggle against forces bigger than the heroes themselves. Gameplay emphasizes tactical combat and exploration. You'll need to strategize to survive brutal enemies, combining each character's unique abilities. The progression system allows varied playstyles, enabling both offensive and defensive builds. Every fight feels weighty, since even routine encounters can become lethal traps without planning. The world strikes with its atmosphere of decay. Ruined villages, forgotten temples, and regions crawling with grotesque creatures fill the map, exuding despair. Pixel art brings this grim setting to life without losing beauty in its details. There's a melancholic tone throughout, reinforcing the sense that hope is nearly extinguished here. What makes Neverway compelling is its emotional intensity and the impact of choices. Dialogue and mission decisions shape both the story and the fate of companions. There's no easy path. Progress always exacts a price, whether in blood, trust, or sanity. It's more than just a pixel art RPG, it's a journey marked by the weight of everything that happens along the way. Altered Alma is a pixel art Metroidvania blending sci-fi with personal drama, weaving a layered and emotional storyline. It follows a mercenary caught between galactic conspiracies and her own traumas, slowly revealing the mysteries of an advanced civilization. Every new area doesn't just expand the map, but also deepens the narrative, showing how everything connects in unexpected ways. Gameplay stays true to the Metroidvania formula, interlinked maps, ability-based progression, and tough combat, while adding modern elements like branching dialogue and decisions that affect your path. The combat mixes futuristic firearms with special powers, demanding both precision and strategy to handle bosses that dominate the screen. The setting builds personality through futuristic backdrops, decayed cities, abandoned labs, and neon-lit stations all feel ready to collapse. Pixel art pops with vibrant palettes that amplify both the beauty and melancholy of this world. Each area has a distinct vibe, keeping exploration engaging throughout. What keeps Altered Alma gripping is how story and gameplay fuse seamlessly. Moving forward isn't just overcoming obstacles, it's uncovering more about the characters and their bonds. That integration makes every win, every new skill, and every decision feel like part of a larger journey beyond the action itself. Mina the Hollower is a direct homage to 90s action-adventure classics, crafted by Yacht Club Games, creators of Shovel Knight. The story follows Mina, an inventor exploring a cursed island in search of the truth behind dark forces threatening the world's balance. The narrative blends mystery, courage, and grim discovery, always framed like a timeless legend told in pixel art. Gameplay shines with its burrowing mechanic, letting Mina dig underground and emerge elsewhere, adding unique flow to combat and exploration. Movement is fast, recalling icons like Link's Awakening or Castlevania, but modern mechanics bring extra fluidity. Enemies demand sharp reflexes and clever use of tools, keeping battles fresh and engaging. The island is varied and challenging. Shadowy forests, trap-laden catacombs, and cursed villages all hide secrets in unexpected corners. Pixel art leans on retro vibes, but with refined colors and animation, striking a balance between nostalgia and modern polish. That blend gives the game an identity that feels both familiar and new. The magic of Mina the Hollower lies in constant discovery. Every new skill unlocks fresh possibilities, encouraging backtracking to uncover secrets. This loop creates addictive progression, driven as much by curiosity as the urge to push forward in the story. It proves retro style still has power to create unforgettable adventures. Urban Myth Dissolution Center dives deep into psychological horror, using pixel art to build a universe that's both disturbing and fascinating. The story unfolds in a mysterious institution where rumors and urban legends take terrifyingly real form. Every corridor you explore uncovers secrets that defy explanation, blurring the line between reality and delusion, and making you question what's true and what's pure madness. Gameplay blends exploration and investigation with moments of pure survival. It's not just about wandering the halls. You'll need to gather clues, solve puzzles, and watch the bizarre behavior of the institution's inhabitants. The danger isn't only physical, but psychological, as certain choices can alter how events are perceived. The tension builds slowly, with every step increasing the feeling of unease. The setting is one of its strongest points, brought to life with pixel art that conveys more than meets the eye. Peeling walls, abandoned rooms, and endless hallways create a suffocating atmosphere as if the environment itself were an enemy. Subtle details like objects out of place or shadows where they shouldn't be feed the paranoia that something is always about to happen. Exploration itself becomes a test of nerves. What grips you most in Urban Myth Dissolution Center is the weight of its mystery. Each discovery raises more questions than answers, keeping suspense alive until the very end. It doesn't rely on cheap jump scares, but instead builds a dense atmosphere where fear grows from uncertainty. In the end, it feels like you've lived through a story that could easily be a real urban legend, one that lingers in your mind long after. Techno Banter fully embraces satire as the backbone of its narrative. The story unfolds in a futuristic metropolis ruled by corporations and artificial intelligence systems that feel as absurd as they are dangerous. Characters are thrown into this technological chaos, where every corner offers a situation blending comedy with social critique. The plot toys with sci-fi cliches while also raising questions about the direction of technology and power in an increasingly insane future. Gameplay mixes interactive dialogues with fast-paced action. Conversations aren't just cosmetic, your responses alter the course of events, opening or closing unexpected paths. On top of that, the game weaves in combat sequences and puzzle-solving moments that break up the flow, keeping unpredictability at the forefront. This balance between dialogue and action creates a rare dynamism, making every decision feel impactful. The environments perfectly capture the sense of organized chaos. The city is covered in over-the-top billboards, neon lights, and caricatured characters, all rendered in pixel art bursting with personality. The visual style doesn't just depict the setting, it amplifies the game's satirical tone, using vibrant colors and exaggerated details to drive the point home. It's a universe that feels like a joke, yet convinces you precisely because of how consistent its excess is. What keeps Techno Banter compelling is the feeling that you never know what's coming next. A simple conversation might end in laughter or an unexpected firefight. That constant element of surprise makes every session feel unique, turning absurdity itself into fuel for fun. It doesn't aim to be grandiose, but it wins you over through its creative mix of humor and chaos in pixel art. Streets of Rogue 2 builds on the wild formula of the first game, but now expands it into a much larger open world. There's no linear storyline here. You're dropped into a chaotic city where your interactions with NPCs, rival factions, and random events form the narrative. This freedom breathes life into a universe where every choice carries weight, ensuring each run feels completely different from the last. The gameplay blends elements of RPG, action, stealth, and even simulation. You can lean into violence, hack systems, manipulate conversations, or simply earn money through less risky activities. The progression system supports multiple playstyles, letting you shape your character and decide how to handle challenges. Improvisation is key since every encounter can be tackled in several different ways. Environments are diverse and packed with detail, ranging from bustling residential neighborhoods to dangerous industrial zones and even forested outskirts. Pixel art keeps the chaos easy to read while slipping in hidden jokes and subtle references. This mix creates a world that's simple enough to navigate, yet rich enough to reward curiosity and exploration. What sets Streets of Rogue 2 apart is how it turns each player into the author of their own adventure. There's no fixed script, it's your choices that drive the story forward, producing unlikely and unforgettable situations. That unpredictability gives the game nearly endless replay value since there's always the chance that something entirely new will unfold every time you play. So out of these 21 pixel art games released in 2025, which one made it onto your favorites list? Have you already finished any, or maybe found a new one here you can't wait to try? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which titles caught your attention, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Every bit of support helps us get closer to the 50K milestone. And if you enjoy that spine-chilling tension, check out the Little Nightmares 3 gameplay video already on the channel. Its eerie atmosphere and disturbing environments show exactly why this game has everyone talking. It's worth watching and diving into that bizarre world together with me.